I was just like you. I was sitting in a fast start school. I wasn't a trainer. I wasn't a big player. I didn't do a lot. Yeah, we produced, but producers never got love and recognition. But I was just like, maybe one day, maybe one day, maybe one day it'll be okay. Maybe one day I can be a builder. And then I started thinking, can dreams really come true? And I didn't really know what dreams were, because the last time I dreamed was when I was in the 1,000-square-foot house thinking, maybe I want to be a nurse, because nurses seem like they make a lot of money. But then I realized I don't like blood, so I was like, that's not going to work. Okay, I'm not going to be a nurse. But then I started to dream again, and my dreams were different. It wasn't going to school to become a nurse, to do something for myself. It was more of, I could become whatever I wanted to be. I could become the next giant in my family. I could become the next millionaire. I could become the example to my kids. I can become, and I started to think different because of the PHP. And this was the first big event we went to. This PHP event was like, add 100 people to this room, and that was PHP's first event that I went to. That was it. That was all PHP. So if you add 100 people to this room, that was our company. But we were sitting there, and Pat just kept talking about vision and crusade and where we're going to go and what we can do and where we can go as a family and a company and 500,000 licensed agents, and we're the crazy ones and no one does it like Future. I was like, this guy's a killer. I want to be a killer too. That was Chris speaking at his first big event. His first big event. So, you know, he doesn't have a podium no more. So some of you guys, yeah, when you guys go and get your 2-minute story, some of you guys spoke today and had a 2-minute story, a 4-minute story, a 5-minute story. We started there. We started exactly where you were at a fast start school with a 2-minute story. And hopefully maybe going, maybe on the next fast start school, I can get 5 minutes. Maybe on the next fast start school, I can be a 10-minute trainer. Maybe I could be a 20-minute trainer. Maybe I could be the closing speaker. Maybe I could be like, you know, crazy Art and Craig here calling each other. That was crazy, right? It was like a boxing match was happening right now.
Parking lot.
But we were there. But we were there. The question you have to ask yourselves is, are you really at the beginning of your PHP career or of your life? This was the beginning for me. The beginning to dream, the beginning to hope, the beginning to think that maybe things are possible for me. I was pregnant here with our first. This was like Train the Trainers. You know, Chris is a little chunkier because when you're broke, you eat out. It's like dollar menu. That's not when that happens. But that's us. And some of you guys, this is your story. And you just need to start your story. You need to start believing, you need to start dreaming, you need to start hoping that something's gonna happen for you and your family. And then this was the start of USA, with 20 associates out of BOM. And every single trainer that came, guys, I've never trained in our office for 7 years of our business because we only had producers there. If you ask AIG, what was AIG, what's his name, Greg, is it Greg? Greg Terlecki, he was like our favorite person to train Tuesdays and Saturdays. All product. We had nothing but producers come and train our office. And we killed people because we didn't grow. We killed people because it was like, can you just write policies? Like, we just need to teach you how to make money. Everything was about policies. But we built something. We built something here, and if you look at our team, the only person that's still with us is right here.
Yeah, same thing.
But this team started because of the beginning of me and Chris. This did not happen without this happening first. We had to make a decision, and some of you guys are sitting in this room right now, and some of you guys have to make a decision on what your next 5 years are gonna look like, what your next year is gonna look like. Some of you guys have to make that decision for yourself. We made the decision right here that we were gonna plant our flag no matter how hard it got, no matter how much we, were struggling or going through it, because you're gonna go through it. We made the decision to do that, and we built this first team, which I killed them all. Chris didn't kill any of them, I killed them all. I 100% killed them all because I was like, what? You don't want to come? You quit. Then go plug into another office. We don't need you anymore. I was like, horrible. Chris is like, you're killing everybody. I'm like, no. It's a filtering system, Yvonne. Like, no, you're like filtering them, you're killing them. I'm like, it's hard as being filtered. Like, they don't want to go to fast start school, so then that's fine. Like, they don't have to be in business. Like, that's not how it works, Harry. I was like, okay. But I had no clue what I was doing here. I'm like, we're building a team. And if you didn't go to like Phone Zone or Feel Head, I'm like, I don't want to talk to you. You're not serious about your business. I don't want to talk to you. It's like crazy insane. But that's how we started. And then we got pregnant after pregnant after pregnant after pregnant after pregnant. But this is me at a PhD university, and I'm seriously ready to pop. But during this time of building between here and here, we made a decision that we wanted to build. This was the decision of, okay, our dreams could become reality. This is when it was like, oh, our dreams could really become a reality. Okay, we gotta build. And we made no excuses. We made no excuses at all. And none at all. None whatsoever. PHP came first. If there was a funeral on a Tuesday, they knew we weren't going. If there's something that came up on a Saturday, we weren't going. Like, we were not gonna do backyard boogies anymore. Like, we just couldn't do it. I'm not gonna go to the same exact house with the same exact people, with the same exact oldies, with the same exact alcohol, with the same exact fights at the end of the day.
Preach.
I just didn't want to do it anymore. So we made the point to say, no more excuses. We're going to work. We're not gonna not go to backyard boogies and be home sleeping. We're gonna go to work. And if we're gonna sacrifice family time, then we're gonna go to work and show them that this actually works and that you can change and you can become something great, you can become something better. So a lot of you guys right now are in transition from saying, hey, this is the beginning of where I'm at. And the only thing stopping you guys right now is your excuses. The only difference between me standing up here as a chairman's council and you sitting in these chairs as a trainee is because the excuses that you're making. There's no other reason. Because I sat there and I was so angry about people that were winning that came in after me, and I had to look myself in the mirror and go, it's your fault because you're making excuses. If you really wanted to win and you really wanted to be an example and you really wanted to get to the next level and your dreams to come true, you would go out there and work. That's the only thing keeping you from here, the beginning and actually doing something. Our dreams were becoming a little bit closer, and I believed that I could become somebody. It was at this point that I believed I could become somebody. Because of PHP, you know, you guys are, you know, the President of the United States wasn't just something Chris was like since childhood. You know, you hear presidents like, I knew I was going to be in politics since I was little. That's never been it for Chris, ever. He knew he was going to do something in the political realm, but never president. And one day we walk into Riverside office, and I said this the other day, I think in San Diego. And we walked into San Diego office one day, and we just said, listen, Yvonne, we only need to make $10,000 a month, and we're gonna be good. Like, we're gonna be set. We're gonna be able to travel, pay our bills, like everything's gonna be good. We can put money in savings. All we need is $10,000. And Yvonne looked Chris in the eye, and she said, what are you talking about, Chris? $10,000? You're the future president of the United States. Don't ever say $10,000 again. And Yvonne started introducing Chris as the next president of the United States. That's where that came from. That didn't come from Chris believing when he was little. It was us believing in ourselves and our coach and mentor putting that dream into us. That's where it came from. So when you see Chris as the president of the United States, it's all Yvonne, and she is going to say into us. And some of you guys need to go to your upline and your leader, and they need to pour vision into you, but you're not giving them any vision to pour into. Some of you guys, your leaders, if you can write on your paper the last time your leader spoke vision into you, if you don't have a date like in the last week, it's because you're not speaking the vision for them to pour it into you. Your leader is not just supposed to be like, you are going to be the next president. What do you mean I'm the next president? They got to see it and then speak it into you. They speak it into existence for you. They believe when you don't believe, but you got to believe first. That's where a lot of people are falling short here. A lot of you guys are, I'm going to be the best insurance producer there is out there. I think that's great. Awesome. I'll see you in 30, 40 years while I'm in the sun, soaking up the sun and chilling with my kids, and you're still a producer. I know. I did it for 7 years. And then it was whatever it takes, guys. like whatever it took. All we wanted to do was be an example. This was, Pat called it, we were MDs, and Pat called the meeting like, it was like, that's what was like the beginning of the company. We had like 4 different floors in that house. And we were like, oh my God, that's my phone, because Pat's talking and we're taking notes, and the baby wouldn't stop crying. I'm like, just put him on the table. He just wants to be on the table, put him on the table. We gotta get these nuggets. And that's my son during phone zone. I'm making phone calls, and that's Chris running some illustrations with the baby in his hand. That's my kids at phone zone running around like crazy while we're trying to make calls. But we were gonna do whatever it took. Because once you figure out the beginning of where you wanna go, there's no excuse that's gonna come to you that's gonna tell you you can't get there at all. And from this point, all we wanted to do is be an example. And some of you guys, people are waiting for you to become that example. Some of you guys right now aren't recruiting your family member and you're upset at them because they don't want to come on board because they don't see it, when you should really be upset at yourself because you haven't set the example for them to say, yes, you are paving the way. And I had to be okay with that. You know, I would get in the car and Chris is like, why are you crying? I'm like, they just don't get it. They don't want to come on board and they don't understand as a family dynamic, everything would be phenomenal. And then Marlene recruits her family. I'm like, Marlene did it! And then Alejandro recruits his brother, and I'm like, dang it, everybody's recruiting their siblings, and I've got a lot of them. I don't want to come help me, right? And Chris is like, it's okay. It's all right. It's okay. Why are you mad? Don't be mad at them. You got to be mad at us. We're not working hard enough. We're not working, they just don't understand. You can't be mad at them because they don't understand. You gotta go work harder, Mary. And if you don't go work harder and they don't see an example, how do you expect them to want to come on board with you? Now, once you give them the example, Mary, and you show them and they still don't want to come on board with you, you just gotta be okay with it. I was like, okay, I'm gonna work hard. Got it. But it was no matter what, and I believed I could be somebody. How many of you guys in here believe you guys can be somebody?
Yeah.
Write down, I want you guys to write down on your paper what you're going to end the year with, because it doesn't start in January, and a lot of you guys are waiting until January to say, this is the beginning. When I do my PowerPoint, my beginning is going to say 2022 January. No, it starts today. It starts today. So if you believe in yourself, what do you believe you can do between now and the end of the month? Because that's what belief means to me. Belief wasn't just, I believe. I had to believe and see my name on the leaders board. How good is it when you see your name on the leaders board? How phenomenal do you feel? That's a sense of belief. So some of you guys need to put some work in this month to go believe in yourself even more than what you're saying. But we believed in ourselves. And then your associations are everything. My mother-in-law, my Italian mom. But I read a lot. I read so much because I needed to shed the lady that I was. I would walk with my head down. When I married Chris, he had to make some phone calls. I don't know who he was calling, somebody. Maybe he was getting yelled at by his boss. And I went to the grocery store to buy groceries so I could make dinner. And I came out of the grocery store and I'm walking. I get in the car and he's like, if you ever come out of a place with your head down again and you're looking at the floor, I'm going to leave you here. And I was like, no one talks to me like that. I was like, wait, what did you just say? He's like, I didn't marry a woman that walks with their head down with no confidence. Do not ever let me see you walking with your head down again. I was like, oh my God, okay, I gotcha. I got it, I'm not gonna do it. Because if I walked with my head down, no one talked to me. If I walked with my head up, people said hi to me, and I was so afraid to even say hi to people. I was so afraid to look people in the eyes. I was so afraid to talk to people. This right here would have been like World War III for me and Chris on the way home. Like we would have fought the whole way home if I had to train before. This would have been hell on earth for him. But I had to grow my identity. And everywhere I went, if it was taking my mother to the doctors because she couldn't drive herself, I was always reading. If you catch me, I'm reading. It's so funny. I told the group that qualified for school, for the qualifier lunch, my daughter, one of the ladies asked about being a mom. And I said, you got to change your appearance, it's going to help you. But growing has helped me so much, and it's so crazy when you go back here and you think about being an example, because my 2-year-old daughter, Chris got a new car 3 days ago. And he cleaned out his old car, and he had everything in the living room. And one of the books that I was reading, because I wanted to reread it again, was Developing Leaders Around You. And yesterday, I went out to go get something. I brought my daughter with me, and she's only 2. She's like, Mom, my book! So while I'm doing my errands, my 2-year-old is walking around with a book called Leaders, Developing the Leaders Around You. That's the book she's carrying around, my 2-year-old, right? People are thinking that she's crazy. They're like, what book is she reading? I'm like, well, she kind of imitates what I'm doing, because I grew my identity, and because I wanted to be an example, I'm helping my kids do it as well. And I believed at this point that I could be somebody. I believe. And then I manifested it. A lot of you guys don't believe in it. A lot of you guys don't believe in manifesting what you want to become. What are you guys going to do? Just write down. I don't even care if it's like, I'm going to hit President's Club 10. I'm going to hit President's Club 2550. I'm going to be a marketing director no matter what it takes, because I want to hit equity. What is that month for you? Write it down. And then next year, what do you plan on doing next year? Do you know how long I wrote PHP ownership $500,000? SVP 500,000 ownership PHP agency. SVP 500,000 ownership. SVP 500,000 ownership. SVP ownership 500,000. Go get it, Mary, because I needed to tell myself that that picture wasn't for anybody but me. Like, you could do it, go freaking do it. These pictures are what got me ownership and $500,000 in SVP. Because I manifested, I thought about it every single day. Are you thinking about it every single day? Are you thinking about what you want to achieve every single day? See, the problem is that the majority of you guys in this room are thinking about your problems more than you're thinking about who you want to become. I chose not to think about my problems. I chose to think about what I was going to become, and it was such a positive distraction. PHP gives us such positive distractions. I didn't look at, MD, EMD, SMD, SVP. I didn't look at those things as like, oh my God, I can never hit it. I looked at it like, that's what I'm going to focus on. Just keep saying it. If I keep saying it, it's going to happen. If I keep saying it, it's going to happen. If I keep saying it, it's going to happen. And this is exactly what's happening. So some of you guys just need to have that positive self-talk and not worried about everything you're going through, because everybody goes through everything. Everybody goes through something. Everybody. Doesn't matter where you're at, you're going through something. Nothing is luck. A lot of you guys think, oh, if I just keep showing up, I'm going to do something and I'll be somebody. You will be in like 20 years. I don't have 20 years. I want to condense time. You guys can remember, Chris talked about Jordan, Kobe, and what is this other basketball? I don't know basketball like LeBron. 20 years versus 11 years. So I know nothing is luck for me. I knew that just coming to these meetings wasn't enough for me. I knew sitting in the back of the room and thinking and hoping and praying that one day I can get to the front wasn't enough for me. I knew I had to manifest it for myself, and that's something you guys have to do as well. And then I had to figure out that I am kind of competitive, because in PHP I wasn't. So I had to find the killer in me. I have a competitor mindset. And I kind of forgot where I came from for a little bit of my competitive mindset, because I played softball for a lot of years. And our team was phenomenal. Like, we would give a look like she did something, hit her when she's running to the base. Just throw the ball, let it. You got the signal. And I mean, that's kind of like TGA, like, you guys want to kill the world, and I'm so excited I'm a part of the organization now. But some of you guys in this room right here, you're competitive. And something, when you got older, told you that you weren't. I don't know if it was life that took you. I don't know if it's something that happened in your life. I don't know if something made you think that you're not competitive, but you are competitive. If I held your breath right now, if I put my hand over your mouth and I stopped you from breathing, you would fight me. That means you're competitive. If you are fighting for air, you're competitive. And I had to look at this picture. Chris brought it up like a few years ago, and I was like, oh my God, I was so competitive right here. Like, no one could tell me anything. I need to get back to that. And I had to remember the competitive killer inside of me. And some of you guys have to remember the competitive spirit inside of you. Nana's a killer. I don't know why she doesn't call people out more. Nana wants to kill Renata. Nana wants to kill Estefania. Don't even act. You do. We talk about it all the time. But she needs to find the competitive spirit in her. You guys heard May talk? May wants to kill everybody in this room. She's just like, Mary, they have no clue. They have no clue who I am. Just wait. You know when you get something like, look me in the eyes. Just wait. Nobody knows who I am right now. Nobody knows who I am right now.
That's what May.
It's gonna happen. And eventually they're gonna go, May, I remember you sitting there quiet. She's calculating in her head how she's gonna kill all of you guys. And some of you guys need to have that. Marlene gave a great training to the MDs about having a nemesis. This is it. Find it again. It helps you build. And put your family around success. This would have never been my life before. It's crazy. If you were to ever have asked the girl that lived in this house that my life would be where it was, I would have laughed at you guys. There'd been no way I would have ever thought that. Ever. My family would have never thought that. I was the weakest link of my family. You guys ever see that show, The Weakest Link? I was the weakest link of my family. And my mom will tell you, this is not like me making stuff up. You guys, my dad's right there. When you guys see, my dad's gonna be a little bit more nicer to me because I think dads are nicer to girls than moms are. But when you see my mom, she'll be brutally honest. She'll tell you, I was the weakest link. They didn't think I was gonna amount to anything. If you ask my mom, she'll tell you. I was always worried about Mary because she was so shy and she was so quiet and she never spoke up for herself that I thought she was gonna marry a man that would beat her up every day. That's what my mom thought that was my life was gonna be. I was like the weakest link that could ever come out of that family. It's the weirdest thing. I'm so not the weakest link now. Like at all. So can you imagine the weakest link of the family at the beginning of our business going, we're gonna be millionaires, everybody follow me. Yeah, okay, that was not gonna work. It was not. But here I am in a picture with Kobe Bryant and the President of the United States that my husband will eventually be. And my kids are there watching and witnessing, and they're just to be next to, like, my son can say, he touched Kobe. Like, my back was on Kobe's side before he passed away. That's freaking amazing. Like, my kids can say, like, I'm in a picture with Kobe. My daughter, she goes to school after this picture. She's like, I met Kobe Bryant, and all her friends were like, liar, liar, liar. And she's like, Mom, I need the picture. Like, I need the picture now. I'm like, okay, babe, let me go. Let me see PHP post it. You gotta wait for PHP to post it. I'm like, oh, it's not there, it's not there. As soon as it posted, I printed it. I was like, take this to your haters. You tell them that we're a different kind of family. She's like, okay, Mom, right? But it's different. It's completely different now because I was around people that got me to think different. I was around people that got me to believe in myself again. I was around people that manifested the fact that we were going to become a president of the United States, or we were going to become $500,000 earners. And now, Gaetan is like, USA 750. I'm like, 750, Gaetan. Yes. I'm like, okay, let's do it. Because we're around people that stretch your vision, and when you're around somebody that stretches your vision, anything is possible. So if you believe and you work, this business works. If you believe and it works, that this business works. I started like a trainee. I got no special privileges. I started at the bottom. I started at a 30%. I didn't come in as a marketing director. I didn't come in from a practice company. I wasn't on Patrick's team before. I was direct to Stephen Yvonne Everett as a trainee. Period. And in that time, I had belief. And in that belief, I made no excuses to get to marketing director. And then after marketing director, we fought and competed to become SVPs.